Thank you, Osama. It's very much my pleasure to be back here. Normally, I talk about how the industry makes money. So we're looking at media, we're looking at retail, we're looking at banking, we're looking at advertising, and so forth. Today, I won't talk about that because I was asked to talk about the empowerment side of mobile. So I'm reminded of the beginning of this industry, the very foundation, not of cellular mobile telecommunication, but of the radio component inside every one of our mobile phones. When we think about radio, the word, what is your radio? Are you listening to radio? We all think the same way. We think of a radio receiver set in our car, in our home, in our clock radio. We are listening to the cricket game, we're listening to Bollywood songs, we are listening to the news on a radio. The inventor of radio, Marconi, he was asked about broadcast radio as a commercial opportunity. He didn't believe in it. The inventor of what we talk about radio today, the inventor of radio did not see a commercial opportunity in broadcast radio, which is what every one of us in this room think of when we hear the word radio. He did not see it commercially as possible. The commercial opportunity originally for Marconi's wireless communication invention was ship-to-shore communication. You could send a telegraph from London to Delhi over land, but you could not communicate with a ship by wired telegraph. So Marconi's invention was to solve the real problem that what if the ship is in trouble? If there's a fire, if there's a storm, if the ship is sinking, it needs to, people come and help me rescue us. And there was no way to communicate. So he invented radio so we can communicate ship to shore. It's a very real need still used today. Every ship today has radio to communicate, mostly today through satellite, but the same concept. The new ships we have, airships, airplanes, all have radio. They all communicate to the control tower to let you know when are you landing, when are you taking off, and so forth, and don't crash in the air. Plus, they use radar, also another adaptation of the radio technology. All of Marconi's original idea exists. But total ship-to-shore radio communication, including airplanes, including ships, is much less than 1% of the total value of the radio industry worldwide. What we think about radio broadcast is 100 times bigger, more than 100 times, almost 1,000 times bigger. With that, if we think about empowerment, and we now think about mobile, and we look at mobile in areas of citizenship, of government, of helping people, I am noticing several cool things. Obvious example is the Arabic Spring and what happened with citizens connecting with each other at Tahrir Square and getting together and overthrowing governments in several areas and bringing democracy. How about Nigeria? Did you know that Nigeria introduced its constitution spread through mobile phones so everyone could read the new constitution? The United Nations does health monitoring and sharing information when diseases spread and so forth through mobile phones. Last year here at M-Billionth, we had an award finalist for following human trafficking. Where girls are being trafficked across borders, then we can use mobile phones to try to capture these criminals and help the police to find out and notice where this crime is happening. In Guatemala, one of the first countries to introduce national emergency alerts through mobile phones. Guatemala has earthquakes, it has volcanoes, it has tsunamis, every single kind of horrible natural disaster they might have. So they send alerts through mobile phones because every citizen has a mobile phone. That's the best way to alert you, even if you are asleep. Kazakhstan is sending court subpoenas by mobile phone. Pakistan, next door, is helping treat adult female illiteracy through simple mobile phone services, where a female friend, a daughter, a husband, someone can help the illiterate older lady who didn't get to go to school to learn basic literacy at her own pace, comfortably through her own mobile phone. New Zealand has instructed their schools, their teachers, they need to now empower the students in class to use their mobile phones. In America, schools are still trying to prevent mobile phones from the classroom. In New Zealand, they're saying, no, 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 teachers need to use the mobile phone in classroom because every student has a mobile phone. In Kenya, election monitoring was done through mobile phones. In Uganda, government corruption notices, citizen alerts are sent through mobile phone. Estonia became the first country to introduce voting by mobile phone. Sri Lanka, first country to say that their e-government services have to be done mobile first. They just announced this, I think, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Wonderful. So, if we look at what Eric Schmidt, chairman of Google, says, user-generated content, user participation is the defining aspect of humanity for the next 20 years. Citizen empowerment, the defining aspect of humanity. In India, in this region, for everyone, it will be through a mobile phone. It will not be through a computer, a PC. So, I want to end back to the thought about Marconi. The general manager of the Mobile Marketing Association in New York, Michael Becker, he calls the mobile industry today as the primordial soup from which early animals and early life begins. Mobile is at that stage. Marconi didn't believe in broadcast. Everything we've seen at this wonderful industry, we are at the very early stages, and it will flower and it will grow. If you go to Kenya and you look at the entrepreneurs in mobile, young people, they are all business oriented because they know they can make a business out of money. This is the biggest economic opportunity of our lifetime, and we have only seen the very early tidbits of it. Good luck.